Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. This is a Sunday, probably midday, and this is about the third time I've been doing posts. I think the first started about 4 a.m. this morning or something like that. And it seems as if things will keep coming, and I just have to share it with you because I'm not guaranteed the next moment. And so I have to. This is a venue that is open, that is available. Perhaps, maybe you might get a chance to listen, and it might do some good. I, as spokesman of an advocate of basic human rights for all people, I call that a voice for God. A voice for God because it represents all people. All people exist by the power of God. Their continued existence would be done by the power of God. And so that which I bring to you as a message is a message from what I consider the power of God, not from some biased source, a prejudiced source, but from God because it pertains to all people. And I find myself, ladies and gentlemen, each time I come to you, it's like I'm getting something clearer than in the time before. And I make my notes. I want to share them with you because it's very important to me, and it's very important to, I think, all of you. You see, what we have in my observation and estimation is that there is, in America and around the world, a war going on. It is a war between good, it is a war between evil. Not only that, it is a war between God, the Creator, and man, the creature, the created. Now, here we have on this earth, man representation is in the systems of the earth. The systems of the earth. The system here in America, we call it democracy, capitalism. In other places, we have other names for it. But my friends, it represents man's stepping away from God. Man stepping away from God. All over the earth, there are people that are well-to-do. In every system, America, there are those that are well-to-do, and there are those that are not. You have your poverty, you have your crime, you have your violence, you have your lying, you have your cheating, you have your stealing, you have your division, you have your hatred, you have your racism, you have your terror, your bigotry, my. You have your fake voices for God, and they are seeking seeds to pay for their mansions, to pay for their resorts, to pay for their jets. Now, everyone that claims heaven, they do so because where God rules, there's peace, there's prosperity, there is freedom, there's joy of life, there's dreams fulfilled, and careers of choice for everyone, and no one is left out. On earth, those that await to a reunion with God, they do the will of God here on earth as though they are in heaven. They are making sure that every human has access to that which is essential for survival, including food. and clothing and shelter and education, health care, and careers of choice, and any other things that's important in their lives. This is what they do. The evidence that they are servants of the living God is that God is alive in them, and they are recreating the world to be like God's heaven. Now, the system of the world rejects them. They are persecuted. They are jailed and killed. For this is their escape from this hell. This is the evidence that they are changed, that they are born again, and that God is their master, and they listen and do the will of God, which is truth, which is love, and they do not give in. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening to that message. I have just summed it up. You can replay it, but I'm going to take a minute just to work with it a little bit. Oh, my. God is fantastic. Here we are, on this earth, going through all of these changes, living because we don't know the truth. Living because we don't know the truth in all of these, going through all of these changes. So what does this say when you consider what I've just said to what really is? I'm saying to you that in the systems of the world, every force is against you, even those that love you to the max. What I'm saying basically is that there is an extent that they will limit themselves. They'll stand up for what they perceive as being right to a certain extent, and beyond that, they got an excuse, they say. They didn't believe it or understand it. They didn't. And the evidence and the results, the same. Outcome, the same. You've heard about some Meshach, and Abednego. These guys were willing to go into a fiery furnace. Why? Because they had a relationship with God. You heard about Daniel in the lion's den. Why? Because he had a relationship with God. You're talking about Moses receiving a message. Why? Because he had a relationship with God. All these people have relationships with God. And you listening to what others are saying, and you think you got something going. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this message that I bring to you today is not to condemn love. It is to show you that everything that's happening around you, everything that's happening in America, has happened before in other parts of the world, and is presently happening in other parts of the world. And we are going through a cycle of stuff that is happening in the world. The stuff just goes around. It's this evil repeating itself over here and over there. Sometimes it takes hundreds of years. Sometimes it may take 1,000 of years to get over on the other side of the globe, or over here. It might take all of this time. Generations pass. But in a world that's governed by men, this is all we got. Selfishness, and you cannot escape it unless you wake up. This is oh my God, how can I say it so we can all understand? Golly, I don't know how to say it. It's like falling out of the sky. Somebody take you way up in the sky. Maybe a plane. Or maybe it was a witch riding a broom and took you way up in the sky and turned you loose. And you are afraid of heights. And here you are tumbling, 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 tumbling. Oh, and everything is just getting you. It's taking you out, taking you out. Oh, please, 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 please. And then somebody shake you, and you wake up. And you say, what? What was that? Somebody, you woke up. So when you are living in this world like it is today, it's to those who have awakened, it's like tumbling out of the sky. And they were awakened. But now they can still see the falling. They can still see all the danger. They stand. And they tell you, this is junk. But now, for a person who wakes up, what to whom much is given, much is required. You can't walk around here talking about give you some planes because you know God. You want $1,000, $100,000. You want $10 million to buy you a jet because you know God and you can get them some special privileges with God. What's wrong with what? See that? Look at evil, boy. Evil, and people follow evil like I don't know what. Give me $1,000, I'm gonna plant it in the ground and God gonna bless you. Come on, what kind of God is that? What they call that? Quid pro quo, something like that, I think. Anyway, the truth of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, is that the plan has already been made. There ain't no bargaining with God. No, it's no bargaining with God. The path has been laid. Follow the path that'll get you there. Jesus Christ came to the earth, whether it's real or whether it's a story. Jesus Christ came to the earth and he did what I have just spoken to you. He walked that line. He walked that line, ladies and gentlemen. He walked that line of doing what was right, doing what was good. But he was in hell. He was offered the world. He was offered to be president of the United States. He was offered to be the head of this organization. He was offered to be the attorney general. He was offered to be in the Supreme Court. He was offered to be governor. He was offered to be anything he wanted to be. But no, he was saying, I'm here for one thing, and that's to stand up for my Father's way, and that's righteousness, and that's love and joy for everybody. And what did they say? Get him out. And what did those who were talking about God, who wants the jets, who wants the mansions, who wants the $1,000 seats, what were they saying? Get him out. And so he walked out. What was he saying to all of you that believed? He was not saying that if you believe in me and tell the world that what I was doing was true, that God is going to forgive you. No, he was saying if you wake up, if you see what he's doing and you wake up and you walk in those footsteps, what does that mean? That means standing up for justice. That means standing up for peace. That means standing up for prosperity. That means standing up for fairness and standing up for what's righteous. Not going along with a lie because it's popular, because it can put some money in your pocket. No, you're standing up for what's right because it is right. And what are you doing? You're choosing a path. You don't stop it. You stand it up for everybody, not just for white folks or black folks or men or women or gay. No, you stand up for everybody. Those who've done wrong, you're standing up for them as well. Because what you deserve, they deserve, and that's heaven on earth, unless they reject it. And they rejected when they refused to yield and change the earth, and they march you to the cross. You march right onto the cross. You're telling them, you're telling everybody that believes and want to believe in God. You're telling, like as Jesus did, keep on walking. Jesus walked up on that cross. Dr. Martin Luther King walked up on that cross. Malcolm X walked up on that cross. Mahatma Gandhi walked up on that cross. John Brown walked up on that cross, and so many others around the world that I don't even know have walked up on that cross. They're doing it every day, standing up for what's right, standing up for what's true, standing up for what's love. And they're being murdered and slaughtered, and you don't hear about it, but they're walking on that cross every day. Why? Because they're being freed. They are being freed from this hell. Now, if God was powerful enough to create this earth, if God was powerful enough to build your body and stuck a spirit in so you can walk around and do this here stuff and live in this here, if God was powerful enough and wise enough to do that, don't you think that God is the same God, powerful and wise enough to say that those who done, what do you say? There's no greater love than that a man or anybody could give their life for what's right. You don't think there's a place for them? Well, Meshach and Abednego said, we don't care. Daniel said, I don't care. And there's another little boy that you guys used to talk about a lot, David. He went up against the giant. He went up against the world and says, I don't care. And you know what? He won. Stand up, ladies and gentlemen. The victory can be yours. God got the power if you will allow it. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.